Hi, this is Angela, and you are listening to Divinely Connected. I am here with your weekly guidance for October 22nd to 28th. I do have 5 cards pulled. Really excited to see what is happening coming this week, this October month. Oh my God, I know I say it every week. We all know I say it every week. And I think I say it every Monday too on the daily messages. But what a fast month. I can't even believe that we're in our final full week of October. Like it blows my mind. All right, let's get to it. Let's see what the cards are saying. Ooh, I really love this. So we're starting out with the balance card, right? And I think that because there's been so much hustle energy, also so much up and down energy. October's energy was very up and down. There was strong full moons. There's strong full moons leading into October. There was eclipses. There was storms going around. There was just a lot that was affecting our energy on top of a high busyness load, right? And so there's a lot of extra obligations and responsibilities and to-do lists, and we're just kind of there's been a lot that has been happening within this month. So as we're walking into the final full week, we are moving into the balance card. Now there is the need for compromise and flexibility coming within this month as well, and I think there's more willingness for this, which I really like. I think sometimes when we have to roll with the punches, it just increases our stress, right? And we just get all out of gear. But because there is a little bit more ease and there's more of this lightness type of energy that's coming in, we're feeling more safe in ourselves to be able to roll with the punches and that we're more easily able to move through sudden changes or like last minute changes, that type of thing. Okay. Now, it is also important that there's just this high intuitive season as well. Like, I feel like there's a lot of, um, divinely inspired ideas coming in. Creativity seems to be creeping up as well. And so there really is the need to kind of start to utilize it. Sometimes when this message comes in, we're like, okay, be like a squirrel and jot down all of the creative ideas that are coming in and then wait for the right timing. It does have this feeling of like it's coming in and let's just do it. Let's go after it. So I'm really happy to see this coming in. And so they're saying plan carefully before taking action, but then get going. And what often happens sometimes as well is that if we're getting too perfectionistic with our planning, we're getting too we're it's almost as like you're deking yourself out, right? It's almost like you will kind of have yourself in a standstill because you're so detail oriented when in this case there's that feeling of like you just got to start walking and then it's all going to come together, right? So take that divine inspired idea, start moving forward with it, make a little bit of a game plan, but the game plan doesn't need to be perfect because there's going to be adjustments along the way, right? And so you don't want to almost plan yourself into procrastination. You want to cut some ideas and then start moving forward with it and know that this is going to be coming in and there's going to be additions coming in, there's going to be more divinely inspired ideas and guidance coming in as well as shifts and changes. Okay. There's also a new love, new experiences coming in, very much connected to the heart chakra. So the new love can be new people, new relationships, new babies, new puppies, new friendships, new connections, new romantic partners, that type of thing are something passion projects, something that fills up your love cup, that fills up that heart chakra is coming in within this week as well. And I just feel like, yes. Oh my God, do you ever need it? You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is good for your soul, right? And so, whether this is getting together with those who you love or, smelling a newborn baby head, we loves that or puppy breath or whatever it is, this newness is coming in, and I think that it's snapping us back into what's important, priorities. It's sprinkling light and joy within where things have been heavy. And so this is really nice coming in as well. I would also, like you say, intuition, especially within these loving embraces. So what will happen is that we will have these experiences to bring in the light in like big gulps, you know what I mean? And so that will balance out our energy, it will raise our vibration. And as our vibrations rise, so does our intuition. So, again, really important time for listening to what you're seeing, sensing, and feeling, as well as your visitations in your dream. And of course, as we get closer to Halloween, that veil is thinning. And so you may be having broken sleep, you may be having increased anxiety, but you will definitely be having increased intuitive experiences because that veil between the earth realm and the spiritual realm is thinning, allowing us to feel and sense more strongly. Okay. We also have this focusing on fun and love this week, right? So do what you love. And so we actually have time for it now, which is nice. Like I said, October was a blink of an eye, but it was also high demand. So as we're nearing November, as we're wrapping up this month, there is this sensation of let's look for the fun. Let's look for the fun. Like you are of high value. By you letting in a little fun isn't going to knock you off track. It isn't going to walk back all the efforts and all the leeway that you have made, right? It's not this one liner that we've been fed that if you don't use it, you lose it. And if we're not hustling, then we're not moving forward. And that's just not true. There's seasons in our lives, there's different times in our lives where we are learning, we're the student, we're learning, we're being present, we're being still. And when we are doing, we're getting out there, we're making the changes and doing the things, right? You need all of it in this life. And so none of it is ever going to make you go backwards and going to make you unlearn all the things that you've learned or undo all the hard work that you have done. You need to be able to allow this joy and this light to come in. And so having these little bit of joyful moments, or having a dance party in the kitchen, or having a good laugh with your friends and family, whatever it is, there is that need. There is that need to allow it to come in and to prioritize it and to allow yourself to have it. Because I almost feel like, yeah, well, I went to the movies or I went out to dinner with my friends, but you're like mentally going and we're watching the clock and we're doing the things and right. And so that's not allowing yourself to actually have that experience. And so there is that need for this to come in as well within this month. Okay. There you may also find yourself a little bit disconnected from yourself, or maybe just kind of being like, who am I? Right? You may just be kind of like having these questions coming in this week as well. This is to do with the shifts and the changes that are happening energetically. There's also this feeling of like, just for mass consciousness, there's this almost like we're in this completion and we're into stepping into a new beginning. And so there is this sense of you may be kind of feeling a little bit perplexed, or what you may be finding your priorities changing or your goals changing. And so that is part of it. I wouldn't be alarmed, but I almost can see you being like, where's this coming from? Why is this coming up? It's because of all the things. It's because of the cosmics and the moon and the planets and all of the things, right? And so instead of criticizing yourself, because that's what humans we love to do, and being like, "What's wrong with me?" There's nothing wrong with you. You are reacting to the energy shifts that you cannot physically see, right? And that is okay. We want to go with the flow, like we said in the beginning, with the balance and needing that flexibility and that compromise. That's not only with set plans and expectations and tangible things in this material life, it's also with our emotions and our feelings and our expectations and our goals. There needs to be this fluidity because it's still kind of this up and down type of energy. So what we can do is lean into meditation, making sure that you have that quiet time for yourself, making sure that you have some time to sit in silence, or to go for a walk, or to drive without the radio on, that type of thing. Making sure that you have little bundles of time, little pockets of time throughout the day to bring in this balance for you. Okay. Now, there's also this feeling of waiting on answers. And I think that we're either impatient already for them, or they are a little bit late, right? And so if we're expecting something to come in, completions to come in this week, maybe doctor's results, financial results, if we're getting the raise, if we're getting the job, that type of thing, it may be slightly delayed, because I do have the feeling of impatience. And so this can be literally impatience, meaning like even if it came in on time, it was still late, or it is coming in a little bit tardy. And so there needs to be that kind of release and that surrender. It will come in when it's meant to come in, that type of thing. But I am happy to say that when it does come in, we do have the prosperity card. We have have faith that the future is bright. Dreams come true. Positive changes that bring end to end end to challenging times, the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's going to be worth the wait, right? It's going to be worth the wait. And I think that that is important to hang on to that faith as you're moving forward when you're waiting to see how the cookie crumbles. When it crumbles, it is crumbling in your favor in that desired outcome. So keeping that in mind as well. I think because there's just a lot happening intuitively, there's a lot happening internally, there's a lot happening. We're not sleeping the greatest because we're having very active sleep states, so active dreams or astral traveling. You may be waking up feeling exhausted, right? And then dealing not only with your emotions, we're dealing with everybody's emotions. Right? They're coming everywhere. They're coming with road rage. They're coming with inappropriate interactions in the service industry, out shopping, cranky, cranky, And so when we kind of understand what's happening, we can disengage in it, right? Because if we're feeling a little bit off, people who don't know or are unconscious are also feeling a little bit off, but they don't have that understanding or that compassion. Therefore, they're going to act out, right? And so it is important for us to kind of just hold the peace for ourselves, remind ourselves that when people speak out or lash out in that way, it is a reflection of where they are at. It's not a reflection of where you're at or your worthiness or deservingness for that interaction. And just kind of hold your own. You also want to be really compassionate with yourself, really gentle with yourself throughout this month as well, making sure that you are um watching your caffeine intake, watching your alcohol intake, watching the media intake. What are you listening to? What energy are you allowing into your experience? Because all of this will play into it, right? And so we're wanting to be gentle music, gentle media, gentle dialogue, gentle loving embraces, loving words, that type of thing. Creating downtime, creating moments of peace and stillness within your days is really going to help you navigate through this type of energy. Like I said, there's nothing huge that we have to worry about, but I think that just that kind of up and down energy can get tiresome. So wanting to be flexible, wanting to roll with the punches, wanting to remind you that the universe is always loving you and supporting you. And then it'll be the weekend before we know it, and we'll be back here because we are now back to doing your weekly guidance live here on Facebook. The replay will be posted on Divinely Connected podcast. And I just want to mention, don't forget, Tuesday, I have my beginner intro or beginners oracle card class. Registration will stay open to 6 p.m. Atlantic time on Tuesday. And on November 10th, I will be in Moncton, New Brunswick for a Messages from Spirit event, as well as November 30th, I'll be in Sydney, Nova Scotia, delivering beautiful messages from your departed loved one. So I'm going to leave that with you. Don't forget to come back to Divinely Connected on Monday for your daily messages.